Hey y'all, welcome back to Reclaim Grace. My name is Bailey and I'm happy you clicked on this video today. We are going to be crafting with the IOD wood arch blanks. These things are amazing. I hope y'all order some and they are just so fun to craft with. We're also going to be doing some simple makeovers using some rice paper from Decoupage Central. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's video and be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know which project was your favorite. Thank you. I hope everyone is doing well today. We're going to get started with project 1, which is that papier-mâché pumpkin I got from Hobby Lobby. I believe the tag said $12.99, but it was 40% off, so it was a good price. We're going to give it a base coat of this raw silk by Fusion because we are going to use these gorgeous napkins I also picked up at Hobby Lobby. These napkins are a 3-ply. And what that means is there's 3 pieces of tissue together. So we want to make sure to get that top design layer, and that will be the part we are decoupaging to our pumpkin. I have a small artist paintbrush here and I'm just dipping it into some water. I have it squirted out on the side and I'm just going to go with the shape of the pumpkin in the ridges, and this does not have to be perfect at all. There's going to be wrinkles and we will embrace them later. So I'm just going to continue cutting the paper with the water and paintbrush, and I'm getting rid of all the sharp edges as well. I'm going to be using my matte polyacrylic. That's pretty much what I always use for decoupage because it's just on my workbench and it's convenient and pretty cheap. And it works very well with napkins because it's thin. I'm just going to start off at the stem and work my way down, just applying the clear coat in an even layer and then laying my napkin into that wet top coat, and I'll use my paintbrush just to make sure it has good contact. And as you can see, I'm working from the middle out and kind of pressing that napkin very well into the creases of the pumpkin. And then if I have any excess like I did right there, I will just gently tear that off and keep moving. Y'all let me know down below if you've ever decoupaged a pumpkin before. I got this inspiration from the IOD Creative Tribe page, and I knew I wanted to try it out. When I get to the bottom of the pumpkin, I'm just going to grab some extra pieces and just fill in any of the gaps I have, and then I will go over the whole pumpkin with one more top coat. As you can see, I cast this with air dry clay. It is the Verandas mold. I believe I'm saying that right. And y'all, I'm going to be honest with you. This video gave me so much problems when it came to editing wise. So I lost the footage of me casting these clay pieces, and I want to apologize for that. I'm still trying to learn just what to do with recording using my phone and when it comes to storage and all that, so bear with me. So as you can see, I'm using Carriage House by Fusion, and I'm giving this a really good coat and going down on the edges of that mold as well. Then I will just take the same paintbrush I used to paint the molds, and I'm using Oakum by Fusion to paint the stem. The next step is to add some crackle. This will kind of camouflage the wrinkles to the napkin and just kind of make them look intentional. I'm going to start off by applying step 1 in a crosshatch motion. I'm going to apply it everywhere I want to see crackle. I let step 1 dry for about 45 minutes, and this is step 2. And I don't know if this is just mine, but this step is really, really thick. It's a lot thicker now than it was whenever I purchased it. I don't know if it just thickens up over time, but I'm going to apply step 2 over step 1. And as you can see, I'm just using my fingers at times to spread the product on. And I'm a firm believer in using my hands whenever I'm crafting. That's why they're always a mess. But I'm just going to apply step 2 everywhere I want to see crackle, and then I let it completely dry overnight. Now I got my Fusion Agent Wax, and I want to bring out all the crackle we just made and to add beautiful details to our molds. So I'm going to apply a nice thin layer of this antique wax, and then we will go in with those blue shop towels and buff off the excess. And check out this crackle. It is gorgeous. I just ordered some Pentart fine line crackle 2-part from L&J Goods, and I cannot wait to try that out. Y'all let me know what you think about this project. It's different, but I think it's very, very cute. Project 2 is a set of horse bookends I picked up from a local thrift store in Goldsboro. I paid $2 for this set, and they were very, very dirty. So I'm going to give them a really good clean, getting into the details very well because I want my next step to stick. We're going to go in with the iron paint. This is by Dixie Belle, and I'm showing you I just ordered a new set. I'm excited. My old set dried up and the mister stopped working. So I'm going to apply my first 2 coats like usual. I'm just going to pounce to give the paint some texture, getting into all the grooves and just detail areas to the bookends. And I will go ahead and give both of them 2 coats. What you're seeing now is my 3rd coat. So I'm going to work a bookend at a time by applying that 3rd coat, because our next step, you want the paint wet. So I'm going to lightly mist my green patina spray everywhere on the bookend, and then I will work on the 2nd bookend and do the same process. So by the time I got done with my 2nd bookend, it had been a couple minutes. So I'm going to grab my blue patina spray, and I'm just using a paintbrush just to go into some of the details and highlight it a little bit. And I would do this to both bookends. And here they are 24 hours later. I love using this product. You never know what look you're going to get. I did apply 2 coats of that clear sealer, and here they are. I love how these turn out. Horses are a really good seller for me, so if you ever see anything horse related at the thrift stores, pick it up. I priced this at $23 for the set, and it's available at Lola's Vignettes. The next project is the one I'm super excited to share with y'all. This is the new arched wood blanks by IOD. These run about $19, and it's very, very good quality. It comes with a hanging attachment taped to the front. So I'm just going to remove that, set it to the side, and we're going to be adding molds around the outer edge of our blank. So I'm just going to warm up some air dry clay and put it in my mold that I did dust with cornstarch. It's very important so your clay doesn't stick. And as you can see, I'm just using my thumbs to get a flat back. I would then flex the mold, flip it over, and let gravity help the mold fall right out. As you can see, it's going to take several of these to make my way around the outer edge. So I'm just going to continue casting, and I will get those glued down. Next, I'm taking Persephone mold, and I'm using resin with her, and it did take quite a bit of resin to fill her up, but that's okay. I wanted it to be durable, and it's just easier than using clay, in my opinion. So I cast her, and I'm going to attach her with the Tight Bond Quick and Thick, apply a good amount of glue, and spread it all the way to the edges. Place her where I want her. I want her kind of up a little bit because I want to put something on the bottom of that section. I will give really good pressure and leave it overnight to dry. As you can see, when I came back into the shop the next day, my clay shrank, and I was so upset. I wasn't so upset, but I was disappointed. But it's very simple to fix this. I just grabbed some clay, some little pieces, rolled them up into like miniature hot dogs, and put some glue in the cracks. and we will just push that right into the crack where it did it at each joint. And I really don't know why I did this, because I did apply glue to the ends as I was laying my molds down, but it just happens sometimes when you work with clay. So I'm just going to continue doing this to all my cracks, and then I let that clay dry. So here's my two paints I'm going to be using at first: Prairie Gray by DIY and Crinoline by DIY. So I have some salt wash in that little tin container right there, and I'm just adding a small amount of paint because I want this to be very thick. I'm going to take this tool and I'm going to literally spread it on to the raised area of the blank and to the flat area in the background. And I even put it around the edges of the arch. And whenever you use resin, sometimes you have a gap in between the surface you're mounting it on and the resin. So you will see me shoving some of this into that crack, kind of like caulk in a way. And I'll use my finger, I'll use this tool to try to shove it in there so we have a nice and seamless look. If you are enjoying this video today, please give it a like and consider subscribing to be a part of our YouTube family. I am so tickled with y'all in the comments every video, and I want to know y'all are really appreciated, and thank you. Once my base layer was dry, I'm coming in with crinoline now, and I'm going to apply about 1.5 coats. I will use my mister bottle just to help that paint spread a little bit better. And you will see in just a sec, whenever I go around the trimmings mold on the outer edge of our blank, I'm going to let my paintbrush skip so it will highlight the details in the mold and give it a little bit of shadowing. Once my paint was dry, I'm coming in with some sandpaper just to distress that crinoline down back to the prairie gray. This will give it an kind of old world look, vintage look, and it kind of makes it look like old plaster. I gave the whole blank a very watered down paint wash of Woodwick, wiped and dabbed that back, and I'm continuing with that process by adding that watered mixture, using my mister to make it run, and then I will come in with my blue shop towel and dab up some of that excess, and this will definitely give it an old look, and I love the way this is turning out. And here she is in all her beauty. I think this turned out so good. I did also lose the footage of me applying that gold full transfer to the bottom that came out of the Etiquette's new transfer book. Y'all let me know what you think about this project. I priced her at $27. Okay, so this project reminded me of Canterbury Cottage. I absolutely love her YouTube channel, and I would say she was definitely the inspiration for this project because she loves making overclocks. I thrifted this for $1.99. The clock mechanism did not work. I tried putting new batteries in it, and it was just broken. So I'm taking that apart, and I will always put that up because Mike could use it for something else later down the road. You never know. I'm taking a piece of just white paper and I'm going to outline my circle and cut that out. And I'll just use a glue stick just to cover up that clock face so I didn't have to paint it. This was just a lot easier. I'll then come in with my X-Acto knife and just make a clean edge around the outside of my circle. Now this is a rice paper from Decoupage Central. This is my first time ordering from them, and they have some gorgeous papers. I ordered a whole bunch. I love this little girl scarecrow. She is beautiful. So I'm just going to use that same glue stick and apply her to my clock back. And then I will use my brayer just to make sure that rice paper has very good contact. And then I will use my X-Acto knife to trim around the edges. If y'all are local to my area, I sell the IOD products and the JRV products in both of my vendor booths, Lola's Vignettes in Goldsboro, North Carolina, and Coppermill Mercantile in Kinston, North Carolina. I gave everything a good clean, the glass and the outer part of the clock, because they were both very dirty, and I'm just going to put everything back together. And then we are going to create a new back for this because I wanted to cover up that $1.99 price tag. I hate it when thrift stores mark their items with Sharpie. Man, that tears my nerves up. I love how this project turned out. She is so cute. I priced her for $15.95, and y'all let me know what you think about this project. Here is a vintage frame I thrifted at Salvation Army for $2.99. I thought this was going to be a very simple project, y'all, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. This one gave me a time. Starting off by giving it a good clean because it was pretty dirty, and I'm going to pry this back off. And this was my first problem. This was glued up there. So at first I take my chisel and I'm like, Bailey, you are about to break the glass. So then I took my X-Acto knife, and about 20 minutes later, I was able to get the glass broken free from the back. And then this was my next project problem. I was like, oh my God, this is decoupaged onto the glass. I was like, it's not coming off easy. So I was like, I'm going to soak it in some Windex. So I let it soak for about 20 minutes, and then I came in with my little plastic burnishing tool from IOD that comes with the transfer books, and I just started scraping the paper off. This took about a good hour to do, I'm not going to even lie, and then it still left the original print on the glass. So I took this plastic tool, and eventually I started getting through it. So I was committed at this point. So I just continued on until we got here. I was super excited. It cleaned up that well. So now we are going to give that backer a good base coat with Raw Silk by Fusion. We just want a light background for our rice paper to pop off of. And we're going to use the same method we did with the last rice paper by just using the glue stick. I'm going to do it like I do with decoupage with a starter strip up top just to get it in the position I want it in. And then I will continue down until I have everything glued very well. Before I go to cut anything, I'm going to use my brayer just to double check everything made really good contact, and then we will start putting everything back together. And that is it for this project. It was simple, but I think very effective. I love how you can take a piece of rice paper and completely transform something. Y'all let me know what you think about this frame. I priced it at $27. This is our last project for today. These two vintage frames I picked up when I was flea marketing. I paid $8 for the set, so I thought that was a pretty good score. We're going to start by just taking everything apart. I'm going to keep those little headshots because I can always use them in a craft or junk journaling or anything like that. So we're going to start by just giving everything a good clean, getting the glass squeaky clean, and then we will work on putting our rice paper down. This is another rice paper I picked up from Decoupage Central. It has like the watercolor pumpkins, and I think it is gorgeous. I'm so excited I learned about Decoupage Central. They have some really good items on their website. So I'm just going to continue using my glue stick like I did in the previous videos. And you can see my glue stick ran out of glue, so I'm trying to get every little bit out of this, and I'm going to use my razor just to spread that evenly because I didn't have another glue stick handy, and that was not going to go to waste. A little frugal, but I was just trying to make it work. So I used my X-Acto knife to trim up those edges, and I think these came out really great. So we're just going to put everything back together, and this project is done. As you can see, I did decide to flip that back around so the ugly side was on the inside of the frame. I priced these frames a little differently because one has glass and the other doesn't. So the one with glass I priced at $12.95, and the one without the glass I priced at $10. Y'all let me know what you think about all the projects in today's video, and I really hope y'all enjoyed them, and I just want to thank y'all again for being here. I'll talk to y'all in the comments. Bye.